secrets.
So
As
tips to
GM.
his players: hold back everything.
Yeah, no, you're not allowed to.
Oops.
Hello.
Hello again.
Do you have to introduce everyone again? Do people know who we are?
Howdy.
But we also have Cosmic Crit, Patrick, GM, DM,
Hi, how's it going, everyone?
editor.
Listening out there. Yeah, I do a lot of stuff on the podcast, including GMing, aka I GM a bunch on there. And apparently go on fan streams as well as part of my roles.
Yeah,
how are you guys
I'm
doing?
I'm doing well. I'm not sure, but we might be the first official, unofficial after show fan show on Twitch for a podcast.
I think
Maybe.
that deserves some research, but yes, you definitely are.
Yeah.
Either breaking new ground that will surely be fertile territory, or spinning your wheels. Oh, I don't know. There's like 24 people already watching, so maybe not. There's too many people here already. This is like more than we got when we were streaming last week. You guys are way too popular.
Oh, I spend all of my time on the Discord. Don't tell work.
Yeah, no, I've never not been on the Discord. I think I'm on there.
You're on there pretty much all the
7
time.
days a week. So yeah, well, I have like 8 computers in my life, and like one of them is always on. I feel like so I'm on there a lot, and it's on mobile. You got it on mobile, so you're waiting for a bus or getting a sandwich at a deli, and you're like, oh hey, what are the folks in the Discord doing? Not a whole lot. That's the answer.
All right. Everybody's already crying. They want their season 2 news.
What?
Yeah,
We're not
I
going to
know.
wait an entire hour to make them get that?
Oh no, we're definitely making them wait an entire hour. I now know the pleasure you feel every week. Every to be continued.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
So I did have a couple questions though starting off.
Oh, yeah.
With,
Shoot, that's what we're here for tonight.
It is indeed. For the Patreon, not quite season 2. We're going to go back to season 1 before.
Yeah, I think I called it in one of the episodes, season 1.5.
Yeah.
So
It works.
that answers any questions for you right off the bat.
Yeah. So we've hit 1, maybe 2. I haven't looked for the Patreon.
Sadly, we've already beaten 3 of the goals. I should have made larger goals. We're starting streaming for Cosmic Crit. We're doing a monthly stream right now. We've got a bonus episode already planned. I've got most of it written, and we're getting ready to play it. And we've unlocked the blooper reels. So I think at least once a month you're going to be getting a blooper reel, and that is exclusive for the Patreon for the time being. Some of them are a little not safe for work, so I don't know if they can ever come to the podcast, but for the foreseeable future, if you want to listen to those, they will be on our Patreon, and we'll make announcements when they're ready to listen to. But yeah, we're almost at the 4th goal, and my mind is kind of boggled right now because I have not started prep on a second season 1.5 episode like at all. So I was hoping to like actually play the first one before I had to start on the second and figure out where to go.
There you go. Awesome.
So do you plan on having those 1.5 episodes kind of one shots where, 1 or 2 shots depending on how long they run over, but where we're not waiting for something and waiting for more Patreons and whatnot?
Yeah, have envisioned them as completely self-contained stories, like a one-shot for each one that we unlock. They'll tell a complete story, which could be a shorter one as far as we're concerned. It might be one or two battles, some character's backstory, something along those lines. But for the most part, they are representative of our play sessions, which can go long. So it might be a couple episodes worth of content for a single story that we'll break up, but we'll probably put those out at like the exact same time. It really depends on the story, I guess, and what we're trying to tell. But my plan, hopefully, is to go through all of them, all the characters, and give them all each a little bit of time to shine. And I also want to try and interconnect them. One of the things I think worked really well about season 1 is that there was a good deal of interplay between some of the characters' backgrounds, and we're actually going to do some interesting things where we might have flashbacks to. It was intimated that Raimi, Miles' character, knew Andis and used them as a mechanic before. Maybe we'll see that scene from
cool.
like a prequel scene. Who knows? And then before the season started, Tyler and Miles said that their characters had done like a heist or some kind of job before. Maybe we'll see bits of that.
Okay.
I want the storytelling to kind of continue through from season 1 and also be its own thing. So there might be an overarching big bad. It kind of depends on how many episodes we unlock. And I can announce this here. We don't have an official number yet, but an additional goal for our Patreon this year is if by the end of the year we can get over 100 Patreon patrons on the podcast, these episodes are going to turn into annual things. So I think one of the questions you had is how often are we going to get these? And each one that we unlock, I think we're going to do multiples per year. It's a lot of work.
I bet
doing them, but I think if we can get enough people that actually want to listen to them, then I and the cast are fine continuing those stories. It just kind of depends on some things that happen, and like I said, we'll make an announcement about that. But if you're already a Patreon subscriber, know that more than likely these are going to continue, depending on how many we unlock going forward.
Okay.
Awesome.
Big plans, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, that's what we've been doing, planning and scheming the last year or so.
Well, hey, it's worked out for you so far. I mean,
yeah, I was very surprised by the amount of support we got on the Patreon. I didn't think it would explode as fast as it did, so we're a little bit behind. But one of the things I said to the players is I'm just going to try and make the Patreon like my full-time responsibility, to make sure that we're connected with you guys, the fans, and giving you what you want. And a lot of the stuff is work that I'm taking on to hopefully, like I said, give people a reason to stick around. So yeah, I've been working on this since late last year, about the entire time that the players were focusing on building their season 2 characters. I was spending my extra podcast time thinking up the Patreon and being like, all right, well, if I was going to support a podcast on Patreon, what would I want back from them, and how rewarding would I want it to be? And anyway, this is what I came up with.
There you go.
Yeah,
so stuff you've been working on for a while.
Yeah. We thought about doing it when the podcast started, because the podcast is expensive. We make some money back in all the merch that we sell. So I think everyone that is owning a Cosmic Crit shirt, I saw one or both of you guys rocking some recently. That helps. Yeah, good luck. We've got, a lot of subscription costs that we have, and then one of the things I love to do, and one of the great things about the podcast is it allows me to spend a lot of money on Starfinder art, which I really enjoy. So art for the characters, get to make up we did art for one of the winners of the Monster Challenge last year, Monster March Challenge.
Yep.
And I want to do more of that, and the Patreon is going to allow us to do more of that. So I'm very excited about that.
Right on.
Yeah, my wife won't kill me if I drop a couple $100 more this year in Starfinder art.
It's a worthy cause, you know.
Yeah, I like adding to the body of it. I think if you Google Starfinder Solarian, I think Alindra is like the first piece of art that comes up.
I was gonna say, if you search any of the races from like the first season that all the players played, they're with like most of them are within the top 10 search results.
Yeah, they're pretty frequent. So that's good. And I want to continue that. Allow people to have like extra art that they may not get just from official Paizo or from other fans doing art for their characters. So yeah, that's always rewarding. It's odd to see one of our characters show up on like another blog or in someone's like game, and it's like, wait a minute, who are they? Oh, they're just playing some random like human, you know,
Right.
not necessarily Raimi. I'm just like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. Whew. What's next?
We've got quite a few people in the chat, actually. Everybody's got 34 now, sorry. And yeah, everybody's chatting away. We got a lot of the Discord regulars on there. So, hey, guys.
I see some of my Dragon Masters from the Patreon. Thank you, everyone, for showing up, including people in crazy time zones.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you.
I mean, this is late for me and for you guys too, a little bit, right? So thanks for staying up. Episode is less than 2 hours away, right? Like an hour and a half or so. So maybe we, should we get to season 2 stuff? I'm sure people want to hear it early.
I don't know. Do you guys want to hear about any of that stuff?
Cody says he's got some very comfortable long sleeves from Cosmic Crit. Boy, oh boy, I bet they're comfortable. I need to get a long sleeve shirt. I have the t-shirts, which I love.
Oh yeah, they are super comfy. Super.
I got this shirt from Drew and Rebecca. They purchased for me at Dragon Con 2 years ago, like right when Starfinder came out.
I was gonna add beforehand. How do you or not? How do you? I joined the Patreon, and there's been a few other communities where I wanted to join Patreons, but I was like, why? I don't get anything really extra. And I did feel like this one, the goals were set up perfectly to where I was like, oh, I get new episodes, the blooper reels, and just like, you know, really just I get to hear all the secrets before everyone else.
Yeah, I'm going to try and keep that up as much as possible. It's even if you're donating $2 a month is a lot over the course of things, especially if 5% of our listening audience gave $2, I would run out of goals.
Yeah.
Like, I've got a couple more planned. I would run out of them completely. So
so go down to $2. Okay.
Well, even like I said, even if the $2 you get announcements ahead of time, we'll throw up episode art and in titles a little bit early. Sometimes that's hard. Sometimes we only have the title like the day before the episode comes out, so no promises there. Like we switched next week's episode's title, I think, is completely different. So originally I had that in the post that came out for our March update for Patreons, and I was like, oh, let me delete that. I guess I could say what it was. No, probably shouldn't. Maybe I'll save that for you guys for next week. But alternative titles that we were coming up with.
So, yeah, were there any other goals? I know that there's Miles wanted to do a musical, and then you just kind of shut that down.
I mean, they are already a musical bunch, so I don't know how I can schedule that. Yeah, there were other goals that I wish I could have gotten to. What did I write down in my notes? Oh yeah, everyone wants us to do second show or more episodes per week. Probably not going to happen.
Like, even if it takes you enough time to do one a week, you know?
Well, it's difficult. Even if we made 4 times the amount of money we are doing on the podcast and could pay someone to edit more episodes, finding the time to play them would mean a reduction in some quality, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Rushing through stuff, cutting stuff out, things like that. You know?
Well, the way our podcast works now, and sometimes for better, sometimes for worse, is our episodes are our gameplay sessions. We don't. I don't try and get it to like an hour, an hour and a half, which is what our episodes normally come to. If they go long, they go long. If they go short, they go short. So, I don't know if we could do more than one episode per week. I think we'd probably go a little crazy. So second show is, maybe if we get to like $5,000 or $10,000 a month, we'll be like, maybe people want more of this podcast. But until then, not going to happen. More Starfinder Society content. I want to play more. Talk about gameplay sessions. Those are like 4-hour sessions, which are usually longer than what we do. Usually play like 2 hours with like an hour on either side, half hour on either side for prep. So I would like to play more. I think those are going to have to be resigned to our streams, which we are doing once per month. You might see us play Starfinder Society or other tabletop role-playing games in a longer format here on Twitch.
There we go. All right.
Nice.
So, I'm sure that this has been asked before, but when you guys were originally deciding, hey, we're going to play Starfinder, what gave you guys the idea to go, well, let's turn this into a podcast, see if that's something that anybody would like?
So, I wanted Starfinder to succeed, and I was worried there was not going to be anyone out there making it into a podcast. So I was like, oh boy, we need to get ready like day one, like when it comes out, to help propel the brand. I was really excited for the release of Starfinder, and I wanted to do it justice. I wanted to get other people excited, either by listening to us, which is, that's how I got excited about making a podcast. Listen to awesome other podcasts like the Glass Cannon podcast. If you haven't listened, they are also doing Dead Sons and having a lot of fun and making different decisions, which is so fun as a GM, because it's like I get to play it a second time. The Adventure Zone, another one. That's one that I got to listen to with my wife. She really enjoyed it, and I was just really excited to try that out. Now, how did I know that we were going to be able to do this? I did not. Besides everyone being a little camera shy when we first started, I wasn't certain that it would translate what our normal game was like. We played Pathfinder before. We recorded some sessions, which might come out, might be a secret on the Patreon at some point in the future. But those sessions were some of the most fun that I've ever had playing tabletop role-playing games. We played late at night, and we're just dying laughing. Some pretty ridiculous stuff happened in that campaign. It was a homebrew Pathfinder campaign, and because I was having so much fun with it, I think it was around this time 2-3 years ago, somewhere in there, where I was like, man, I would love to record these and share them with people, because I want to get people excited about Pathfinder or Starfinder, and I think podcast is a great way to do that.
Absolutely.
I was very wrong. It's a lot of work, and it's very difficult to make a podcast. I thought it was going to be very easy.
Just hit a button and it goes,
I was so wrong. It's so much editing, so much prep work. But
man, I played Pathfinder for like 4 years with just some friends in real life, and I stumbled across the fact that Starfinder came out, and this was probably about 4 months after it actually released. And so I Google it, and like the first thing that comes up is Cosmic Crit. So I was like, I'll give this podcast a listen to, and I was hooked. I don't know how many episodes you guys were already in, but I was 100% just sitting there, and then the Discord like announcement came out, so I joined that, and then I haven't left. Like, after the third, I think, episode, once it really got into story, I think I went to the local game shop and just bought like the book and then three of the Dead Sons AP books that had come out. Like I was like, here's $100. I love this now.
That was 100% my goal. I'm so happy that people like you and a lot of other fans found the game through us. Whenever people were like, we're just starting our first campaign, it was because we listened to you. That's why I made a podcast. So I've done well. And I mean, I think we've seen, hopefully through some small part of Cosmic Crit, that Starfinder has like almost tripled in its popularity from its very popular launch to now. They're producing more of the AP volumes every month. They're producing more Starfinder Society scenarios every month. The staff at Paizo want to do more Starfinder stuff. It's hard, I think, because of their publication schedule, but they want to put out more books and quality books for everyone. And I think that's why we're getting the character operations manual. I'm pretty sure we're getting that awesome book. That's why they did the play test for the new characters. The beginner box, why the beginner box was, front and center, and the fact that that's coming out so quickly is pretty exciting. I think that's going to draw in a lot of new players as well. So I'm excited about it.
I don't like, go ahead.
I had nothing really.
I say, and same kind of thing over here. I think, like I had heard about Starfinder, didn't really know much about it. I had played Pathfinder. Like, I'll be honest, I'm the guy that played Pathfinder like 2 times, and then that was it. But like my group had mainly played like World of Darkness, things like that. They liked, that kind of setting. And, we played Pathfinder like twice. And then I don't even remember how, but somehow on Twitter, I saw you on there. We started talking. I started looking into Starfinder a bit, and I'm like, well, I'll pitch this to the group, see if it's something they might not, they might like. So I told them, we, at first we're like, we're just going to play the first AP, and we'll go back to something else just to take a break. We just started we finished the first book of the second AP tonight, and they're already asking about, so are you getting books for the third one? So I mean, it's working out. I mean, Starfinder, it's a really great system. It's unique. There's just so much to it. I absolutely love it myself.
Yeah. No, 100%. I do have a question back to the Patreon from one of the viewers, Sylthian.
I'm listening.
They missed out on the Dragon Masterpiece, so they want to know what it's kind of like, if they can get in, if somebody ends up dropping. And
the Dragon Master tier, I wish I could GM more than I am right now. I know that another one of the official Paizo partners, Dragons and Stuff, which is a live stream Pathfinder show. Their GM is able to do a whole bunch of games with his fans. I want to play with fans more often too. I also want free time and not to get fans confused. So I can only do the 6 Dragon Master tier people to start off, and those sold out within like 24 hours. I thought it was going to take a while to get a game started, but for those Dragon Masters out there that are watching, I cannot wait. It is play by Discord, play by post gaming with maybe some live gaming mixed in, but we're across like a whole bunch of different time zones, so that might be a little difficult.
That's going to make it a challenge.
And yeah, I told him I'll GM whatever Starfinder you want me to do. If we want to just go back through Dead Suns and play it again, I will do that for them, as it might be a little bit of a remix edition of Dead Suns. But they almost, I think unanimously, were like, no, we know what we want to play. We want to play the new AP. And that's what I got here. Dawn of Flame, Fire Starters. That's what we're starting up. I've talked to them about sharing details of the campaign because they've made some awesome characters, and I'm just starting my game prep to integrate them into the world. But they are going to be part of the Critterverse, which is kind of like the expanded Cosmic Crit universe.
Nice.
Because we don't have plans on the podcast to play this anytime soon. But you might get battle reports from them in the Patreon announcements. And you might see some more of them in the future. It is kind of like a second podcast, but it's one that doesn't take as much time for me, hopefully, each week as this one does. So, but yeah, there's 6 of them. It's a 6-person party. I think they've already decided on their ship. And all the characters are almost completely made up. And that was like 2 weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago, that we started talking about it. So they are super excited to play.
Oh, I bet.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
so if somebody drops out and then somebody else sneaks in,
Yeah, it is going to be like a rolling campaign. It is a lot of money, and I understand that. I don't know if I could swing $25 a month. I mean, it's insane. So I've told them flat out, if anyone has to step back, that is fine. It's going to be like a West Marches campaign. So if someone needs to quit and move on, the character will be retired, put into NPC status, and we'll open it up to someone else to join. And it might be a little jarring. You're the new kid on the block, but it'll hopefully be a fun enough campaign to where if those spots do open up, players will be excited to jump in.
All right, you hear that, everybody? So just keep refreshing that Patreon.
Yeah, it might go. The announcement, if one of those tiers opens up, might be Patreon only first. So it'll only be for someone to upgrade. Or at least they'll get first pick. But after that, we'll put it out on Twitter. Oh, there's a Dragon tier open. I don't see that happening anytime soon. These guys are pretty excited. Excuse me, excited to start playing their characters.
Oh yeah, no, I'd pay $25 to have you GM for me.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
That's
but
like
it's also
Netflix
a lot
and
of fun.
Hulu, Amazon Prime all together.
I'll just tell everybody in my house that I'll read them.
That face is worth $25.
Once again, it's played by Discord, so
well, just snap random pictures of yourself just staring right into the camera.
Hey,
we've shared selfies, I think, in our Discord already.
Also, lots of cat pictures.
Yes.
For a while, it was like nightly. At the same time, somebody would just start sending cat pictures randomly.
Yeah.
I know. I started the dog trend.
Yep.
If anybody that is in the Twitch chat right now is not part of the Discord, you should be. It's
Absolutely.
where 90% of my fun happens now.
Oh gosh, I've got mod powers. I can change it, put a link in.
Yeah, go for it. I can't change Discord because then all of your faces go away.
I've got it.
But yeah, it's memes. There's connections if you want to play Starfinder Society. There's Pathfinder Society there. Just a ton of good people. It's awesome.
Ooh.
And us. So
we had someone request
that
your volume. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I can hear you guys just fine, so I want to make sure everyone. Yeah, great. I think we've talked hopefully enough about the Patreon.
Yeah. I think we can cut the Patreon out. Because I mean, I would love to talk more for the next hour, but I'm not seeing any of the money, so get that out of here. Let's get to season 2, okay?
Oh, the juicy stuff.
Yeah. So how much stuff are you going to add to these? Because these are 3 books instead of 6. So how much more original content stuff are you planning on adding, like season 1 did?
I'm going to talk about that a little bit in our episode tomorrow. Episode 70. Is that what's coming out tomorrow? Yes? No. I've forgotten what episode.
It's episode 1.
There we go.
Yeah,
season 2, episode
74 as far as Cosmic Crit is concerned. Boy, it's late apparently. I'm tired. Well, tomorrow's episode, the next episode, listening to this, I talk about this a little bit. We have half the amount of time to tell the stories, so I will be integrating characters' background stories into the existing story. I don't know if that's Patrick style, Cosmic Crit style. I'm sure tons of GMs. I didn't invent that, so tons of GMs do that. But I think, unfortunately, like season 1, some characters will be like the main characters, and some will be the background characters, or kind of side characters, and we're not getting like a full rundown behind the scenes. That can change. I didn't think that Edros was going to be as important to season 1 as he ended up being, but like they just like kept hammering home like Vesk and other things that kind of integrated into the character. So his backstory just kept increasing and getting crazier and crazier. We talked about that a little bit on last week's episode in our retrospective. I basically threw out his entire background. So things can change, but right now it'll be very similar to season 1. In my estimation, we're only like, I've only written like 5 episodes into the future, so a lot can change.
And whoever doesn't get a backstory is your least favorite, right?
Just gonna write down a
right, Drew.
Miles. Miles, no backstory again. I don't think he's in the chat, so I can make fun of him all I want.
Yeah, silly Miles for sleeping.
No, actually, he's probably Miles and Drew. I feel like their characters got the least amount of like backstory, integration, screen time. So expect at least a little bit more for season 2 for their characters.
Gotcha. And now I know you haven't really recorded that far into it or anything, but how? You know what? No, never mind. I don't want to spoil anything for me or anybody else.
Feel free to ask away.
Nah. I was wondering do you know if Miles is going to stand in the back of the party and lean on walls the entire time, or if he's actually going to get into the thick of it?
Walls are his safe place.
Miles' character is starting with a melee weapon. Spoiler. So take from that what you will. Take from it what you will.
Now he's never going to use it. He's going to be a spellcaster, but he has one.
Yeah, no, he's ready to make that single season attack of opportunity.
he wants to be part of the flanking buddies.
How does this work again? Yeah. So we got some things in the chat I want to point out. Hidden Twig, hello Hidden Twig, asks if, because Edros was main character in season 1, is he automatically background character? Not necessarily. Maybe, but not necessarily. But I think both him and Rebecca were like crazily in the forefront for a lot of episodes. They won't be. I don't think they'll have as many dedicated to them. But once again, a lot of stuff can change from book 1 to 2 to 3. So we'll see what happens. But they've designed their.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, who knows who you kill?
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. Like, what if one of them dies and then they come back and it's like perfect integration into the plot? And
so you're actually going to try to kill one of them this time?
Oh my goodness, Tim! I try so hard, and people are like, "Oh, why do you always want to kill a PC?" It's like, well, first of all, I like to win sometimes, one, and 2, I am trying to tell the best story possible, and what is more story driven and character like forging in the crucible of like a comrade's death. So I think just it would be amazingly transformative group to go through that, but as well I just think it would be a lot of fun. I think we'd get more art and make a new character and tons of fun.
There you go.
Cool.
Just looking at some of the chat here.
Yeah, everybody's either having fun at Miles or waiting for Miles to show up before they make fun of him. No,
like dead Aussie gamers, a rolled up cease and desist order form wielded as a weapon.
I think he threatened me with that when I told him I needed him to interview for midnight Twitch show.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
What about season 2? Do you have questions? Does chat have questions?
I think that most of them are pretty much waiting for you to tell us who won the February challenge. So I'd say we're about halfway in. You can spoil it a little bit there.
I wonder if they are here and they're listening. It's actually a couple names that I haven't recognized from the Discord. So our winner for the February fan submission challenge to guest the season 2 Cosmic Crit character classes, character races. Our number 1 winner is EJ. EJ. Congratulations. And our runners up, we have a Patrick, and we'll email them, and a David L. So if you're listening, congratulations to you three. Our big winner, EJ, who total correct guesses 4. Now that's 4 out of 10, I think, right?
And that was a high one. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty high.
Yeah.
Player Rebecca compiled all the data for me and has some pretty interesting things. I want to give a shout out to Pithica, one of our very active GMs in the Discord, who helped do some math. The chances of guessing all 5 character classes and races correctly, 1 in 200 million. So 4 is actually pretty high.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right.
She or he, they, EJ, guessed one player's character completely. They guessed
really
completely who Rebecca is playing.
Ooh.
Oh,
Same
okay.
race.
Okay.
So, as did our first runner-up, Patrick, also guessed Rebecca completely, which is like, was she telegraphing what she wanted to do? It's pretty interesting. And then
she spoiled something.
Because of our players being very loquacious and wanting to interact with all the creator managers out there, they talked and they had questions, going back like 6 months ago, like, can anyone help me make a Solarian, or can anyone help me make a so-and-so? So they probably did do some spoiling. And our second runner up, third winner, guessed Miles completely correct.
Okay.
And our winner also, EJ, guessed Miles's race and Tyler's class correctly. So pretty amazing there. Nice. Does anybody want to find out what classes people are playing in season 2? Is that something?
I think we can wait a little bit on the classes. I don't think anybody's really interested in season 2.
I am. The chat is going by like a mile a minute.
Right, yeah.
But if
Rebecca is apparently very salty about those guesses, so
read her like a book, our fans can. I was interested because you both, the two of you, put in guesses. What were your guesses, and why were you so off? You couldn't guess 4 correct.
So I put in
or 20 million, 200 million, whatever.
200 million, yeah.
I put in 1 for Tyler. Like, I didn't even finish the thing. I put in 1 because then I thought I shouldn't do this. Like, I was like, I don't want to be part of this. Like, I came up with it. I didn't want to, like, even if I won by happenstance, I still would feel wrong taking from the fans. So I put in 1 for Tyler, and I think I put Mystic just because it's the exact opposite of anything I can think of his voice doing is. But yeah, and then I was going to have you tell me what they all were, and then I was going to put it in February 28th at like 11:30 at night, just to take it away from everybody. But
I want to shout out. I don't have the name, but someone else guessed multiple correct pairings of class and race, but for the wrong player.
Oh,
yeah, like someone guessed like 1 or 2 completely correct, and just for the wrong person, which was frustrating. But like, really, it was scary. I was like, we hacked? Did someone hack into us? How do they know this so well?
You were accidentally typing in, the common Discord instead of your guys' group chat. That's what it was. So.
Oh, Rebecca's in the chat saying at least one person guessed each question correctly. So of the 10 classes and races, we didn't.
Wait a second. I guessed one thing. So does that mean Tyler's playing a Mystic?
Maybe she didn't have. Oh, if you put yours on the original Excel, maybe that didn't go through.
Okay. Maybe that's it.
Tyler's not playing a Mystic. I'm sorry.
I still say Morlamaz and the entire party. The entire party.
Who do you want to know first? Let's go down the line.
Oh.
Let's go with Olindra because she's right here.
There you go. Yeah.
Rebecca.
What's Rebecca got? for us?
Rebecca.
new
Yeah. Sorry.
class. Well, I don't have a visual aid for this one
Okay.
because this is a class that is not out yet.
Ooh, okay.
Warp Witcher.
She is playing a witch warper. Is that right?
It's not out yet. It can be either way.
That one.
I don't have a book in front of me yet, but yes, she is playing a mystic, styled character, a witch warper, which is a new charisma-based caster class.
Yeah.
They are amazing.
I was reading through them, and they made me feel like Scarlet Witch, kind of like
Witch
Yeah.
warper. What can I think? Yes,
Which Scorpers look at reality and go, yeah, you're mine.
It was the first thing that popped into my mind, and so she started by making a mystic, and by the time December rolled around and those classes came out, she was like, this is much closer to what I wanted to do with the character. That's kind of like battlefield control, debuff, that kind of thing. I cannot wait for you guys to hear her character's voice. There's some pretty awesome stuff Rebecca's doing with it next week.
this is gonna be awesome.
The episode that you'll hear tomorrow is all about talking about these classes, so you get to hear why did she pick that and things like that. So I'm excited about that. That's Rebecca. Who's next?
The
Let's go,
chat
Miles.
is calling for Tyler.
Tyler? All right.
Tyler, you don't want about Tyler. His is the most boring class. It's one that we have technically had on the podcast before. Not really, technically. Let's get to image reveal here. CRB. Ba-boom. Can you see that?
It's a little high.
Okay.
I haven't memorized the
Now-
CRB. What is it?
Oh,
Mechanic?
this is well, specifically a picture of Quig, the drone mechanic, which is
Okay.
what Tyler's playing season 2. So we have had a mechanic on the podcast, but technically not this kind.
Awesome.
Yes, I really like the drone mechanic, so I'm excited what he can do with it. She's going to talk about it on the podcast, but I was surprised. I honestly thought he was going to go a full caster or something like that as well after a huge soldier class.
Right.
I thought Solarian because he was jealous of Alindra towards the
goodness.
last half of the show.
I couldn't imagine if he did that. Yeah, no, he's not playing a Soki, but he's playing a drone mechanic, and it's a pretty cool drone. I'm excited for you guys
Nice.
to see it. But he had this great concept. He actually went through like 2 or 3 different ideas for a while, and people kept guessing them or making them on the Discord, which soured him on the idea. So the character went through a few revisions, but eventually got to drone mechanic. Oh boy, yeah. I don't know. I can tell you what races some people are not playing, but I feel like you'll want to be surprised about this chat next week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep
for
a
sure.
little back.
Well, it like, I mean, if I say them like out of context with like, the character kind of attached to them, I don't think it will do it justice. So I want to keep some of them a secret.
Oh, yeah. Especially with what we see players, do with their characters so far.
Yeah, I for sure. What? Who does chat want to hear about next?
I see a Miles in there.
Ooh, Teddy Aussie Gamer. Miles, and I say this on the podcast, but I thought was going to be a lot of people changed theirs. So I think he originally told me he wanted to be a soldier in season 2. So I was planning for that in my mind. It's like, how would they integrate into this crew? He's not playing a soldier. He is playing a very combat heavy character. He's going back to the CRB as well. Let's get to the.
All right.
I got earmarked pages.
Operative.
He is they're at the very beginning of the character section of the CRB. Bam!
Getting an envoy. All right.
Another envoy. What did I do to deserve this?
Interesting. I had a player that rolled an envoy to join our game, and then he ended up just absolutely hating it. And I was like, you need to listen to Cosmic Crit, because they wouldn't have killed a single damn thing if it wasn't for True and all of his improvisations.
Boy, you guys are officially like more popular than our streams on our channel. You guys are kicking butt here. Yeah, no. Hidden Twig saying I have to deal with an Witch Warper. Yeah, I know. Gonna try my best here. It's one of those classes. It's like a bard in Pathfinder. I really think they pop depending on the other 3 or 4 classes that are in the party. An Envoy, especially with this one, with a Solarian and a Soldier and a range specialist mechanic, especially. Yeah, Knack Feldspar really put a hurting on me, put a whole world of hurt in me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that's something that we might have to track in Season 2, how often things would be amiss if it weren't for the other Envoy buffs and debuffs, whatever Miles chooses. I don't think it's the last of Get 'em, you've heard, fortunately. We'll see. We haven't picked out everything, I think, but yeah, boy, oh boy. I can't wait. I think I've already said no Season 3, but we'll see how that holds up. Who's next? We got 2 more. We got Jabert and Drew.
I think everybody wants Jabert. Nobody really likes Drew because he's in the chat. So
yeah, let me get back to these guesses. I think, most people, 19. There were 19 guesses. The majority of guesses for Jabert's class were biohacker, that he would, because he was so excited, he put a level on Andis 147 that he would make a full one, level 1. Unfortunately, he's not playing a biohacker. I'll put that right out there. I think his number two guess must have been what he's actually playing, which is going back to the CRB.
Ooh.
The popular book of the night.
Yeah.
Who would have
operative?
Nice.
Yes.
And don't be confused because it's an android in the picture. I don't think he's an android, but an operative.
Yeah, have fun with that.
He will.
Yeah, they are very fun to run.
They are awful for me GMing it. So
the first game I ran, we had 2 operatives who couldn't have played more different. But so I mean that was interesting.
With an envoy and an operative, I don't think I will ever make an attack of opportunity in Season 2 as long as we play. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm very unhappy about that. Boy. But yeah,
that's awesome. Also, Drew posts in the chat that he has been telling Miles all about Envoy stuff, so have fun.
Doesn't need any help. They play themselves. They're great abilities. Andis 148, if spoiler warnings, episode 47 or 48, if he had if 147 hadn't come back, he was going to make Andis 148 into an operative.
Okay.
Play that the rest of the campaign, something we talked about in last week's episode a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But he had an operative ready to go and done all the research and was very excited to play one Season 2. And you're going to love this operative. You are going to absolutely love it. I don't know if it's going to be your favorite character of Season 2, but might be mine already. I don't know if I can have a favorite. We've played a couple games, but oh boy.
I got the feeling, like, I didn't guess operative or anything, but even Andis 147 kind of played out operative E at times.
Well,
taking those long shots.
They're high int characters usually, or high skill ranks. Both those classes get a lot of skills. And you can make either ranged or, I think, an operative a mechanic melee pretty easily. But I was excited. I think we mentioned it as well in the podcast, but everyone was fighting over an operative for Season 1. And then eventually no one picked it. I was like, wait, what happened? which is so funny because so many people were excited about it. They had heard it's like, oh, it's so good. It's so much better than some of these other options. But I'm excited to get to play with one in season 2.
Say on the chat, Dead Aussie Gamer says, "Don't worry, Pat. If you don't make attacks of opportunity, you can always take them in the surprise round."
Yeah, no, everything is getting boosted up like a plus 20 stealth. So they're surprising the heck out of them.
So I guess
So
we got Drew left.
The last one. I mean, we can just skip it. We'll just go over it next week,
Yeah, you'll
Sounds
find
good.
out
Good
in
night.
30
All right,
minutes.
say goodnight.
Yep. To be continued.
Can you see me? Can you see me there?
Patrick, we're still rolling. Go off camera.
I was trying to hide.
All right, so
Yeah.
what do we got for Drew?
Maybe we should start with where Drew started at. One of the best supports in Starfinder is Envoy in season 1, and if you have been paying attention to the rest of the party makeup, a mechanic, an envoy, a witch warper, and what else do we? Oh, an operative. We don't have any. I don't know. Power like centers.
They're like beef fighters.
We don't have a soldier or a Solarian yet, right?
Yeah.
Or a
Yep.
Vanguard.
It's got to be one of those. Drew started making a Solarian with a pretty awesome backstory, pretty cool integration of the Solarian powers, and then December rolled around, and the new classes, the playtest classes, came out, and his concept meshed so well with the Vanguard. It was
Awesome.
like nearly impossible. So he was everyone's shouting
Vanguard.
He was very excited about making a pummeling fist kind of Solarian.
Mm-hmm.
Vanguard came out, and they do that. They do entropic strikes, and they can just deliver them with a fist, a kick, a headbutt, which is insane.
Right.
With melee weapons, and yeah, I think people are going to really like this character. It's very interesting. And it's kind of similar how we made season 1. We have no background information. What is a witch warp? What is a Vanguard? But we're going to make up some pretty cool origins, a la Cosmic Crit style, or
Nice.
GM Patrick style, that for us are going to become canon. Critterverse. So yeah, I'm very excited about all the classes. Very excited about these 2 new playtest classes, though.
Absolutely, yeah. It's nice to see them get some representation too.
Yeah, and people were just Drew and Rebecca are so excited about both of them. People are excited about the Biohacker as well. I think you're going to see them show up in another season. The only thing we haven't played is a Mystic. No Mystic yet, but I'm sure we'll get to that as well.
See, now, question for you: if especially since they're using the 2 of the newer classes, if you guys are still playing, the new book for that comes out, and they've changed stuff. What are your plans on that? Then are you going to have them update their characters, or just keep them as is?
So, from what I've been told, this season might be over before the character operations manual comes out.
Okay.
Completely. But if it does change things up a lot at the level we're at, like level 5 or 6, there might be a Witch Warper universe shift, a paradigm shift, where it's like, oh, I have all these new abilities now.
What happened?
But we'll see.
Okay.
That might change things up, but yeah, no. Things change. As soon as Armory came out, I wanted to integrate those weapons and tech items immediately. So we had a fan challenge to create for the players to buy just stuff out of the Armory mainly, which was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever the Paizo products come out, I always like to try and talk about them immediately whenever I can. So yeah, you might see some more stuff coming out depending on when AP volumes come out. There might be some cool stuff in the beginner box, so we'll be talking about that.
Awesome.
All those things you wrote, right?
Yeah, no. Some of them are, yeah. I'll say, if you guys at home own Firestarters, the first volume of AP number 4, Dawn of the Flame, I wrote the Sarenrae chapter at the back of the book. Show you a little bit of that. I think the art is really cool in here. I don't know why they gave me Sarenrae. Like I've aligned the stars to make this into the coolest goddess in the Starfinder pantheon.
Maybe a little.
But I was really excited about how that came out. There's options in there for. I tried to make them specifically for level 1 players to be able to afford and want to equip. So there's weapons and equipment for Sarenites.
Nice.
That's coming out, and then I don't really have anything else out until the next AP volume, which is Attack of. If you guys haven't heard that announcement.
What's that, Patrick? You wrote a book? What?
Yes, and I don't know if we talked about it last week or what on the podcast. That is why there was a 2-week vacation in the middle of the podcast where Jabert, thank you Jabert, ran everyone through Skittershot because I was knee deep in finishing editing an entire AP volume at that time. So that was last year. I'm very excited to see it come to fruition. That's 8 months away now. Six months away. I can do, man.
So it'll be here before you know it.
August. Yeah, so that should be out a little after Gen Con.
Ooh.
Yeah.
In your 2-year birthday, right? You guys started in August, right?
Oh yeah, no, our podcast. I thought you were talking about my.
I was like, well, when was I born again?
No, I think you're a little older than 2, but
No. I think our podcast's birthday is the 21st of August.
It's Drew's birthday, he says. So.
Yeah, no, Drew's is the week before, I think. But, anyway, that's the season 2 character classes. We're going to talk about them on the podcast. About an hour's worth or so of chat about them, and go into a little more detail. And then next week you get to meet them in a pretty fun episode. I had a lot of fun. I hope the players did as well. But there are some surprises, I guess is the best way to put that, in next week's episode. Some that 1 or 2 players might have kept from the other players that they didn't know.
Ooh, all right.
Who or what they were playing. So there's some switcheroos. We have fun on the podcast. The main reason we like to record them is we're having to share with them. And that's a fun thing to do. In my Pathfinder game, IRL, a friend of mine has kept his character class that he's playing in our next campaign a secret from everyone else. It's the worst kept secret in the world. I don't think he's in the chat where he's going to listen to this, but my friend Pat is playing an Arcanist in Pathfinder. He's playing an Arcanist, the secrets.
Ooh.
What does anybody else have a question about season 2? Oh, maybe I should talk more about other people's guesses. I have a lot of data here.
So what do we got?
Oh, geez. The most guessed answers were Tyler's class and Miles' race. The most people got those correctly. So a lot of people, I guess, guessed mechanic for Tyler, which is interesting. Let's see. The most missed answers, only one person guessed Tyler and Jabert's race. So if you're listening to this and you submit answers, you're probably wrong on both of them, which is pretty funny.
Now, were there any races? I mean, because Starfinder's expanded a lot as far as player races. Were there any that you wanted to see that nobody in the party picked?
I really like the weird races.
Same.
So I wanted to see at least 1 or 2 weird things. I mean, if you are a fan and you're in the Discord, you probably know I don't want to play with a party full of Skittermanders. I will probably quit the podcast if that happens. And Tyler is not allowed to play bear.
That was repeatedly.
So I played a Pathfinder campaign with Tyler where he played a Shifter turned into a bear. So I was like, no more bears from Tyler. The bear puns were unbearable. Despite me saying that, the most guesses for Tyler's race were uplifted bear. People really wanted to play that. I can say what the most likely guesses were. Wow, no, both Drew and Miles got uplifted bear. I guess people guessed that for a lot.
I know there was a lot of talk around everybody playing an uplifted bear and then Tyler playing a single Skittermander.
No.
So
oh, that's also bad. This is interesting. People thought Jabert was going to play either Kasathan or a Sheeran. Those were his highest guesses.
Okay.
Race. I'm not saying if these are true or not. And then who else we got? Oh, Rebecca. People thought she was playing a elf, a Pathra, or a Tiefling, which is so interesting. That's an interesting mix.
Yeah, a little bit.
And the most people guessed that she was playing a Mystic, which is also hilarious because that was her first pick before Witchwarp. Yeah, I think the first thing she thought about, and she's in the chat so she can correct me if I'm wrong, was a Drow Mystic, if memory serves. Not what she's playing now, but I don't know if anyone guessed that, but that'd be hilarious if people guessed what people were thinking 6 months ago.
Right.
I think that's about all the information I have for guesses. Right? Yeah. The average
is what she said.
Oh, the average people guessed 1 out of 10 correctly. Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that's not bad. Dead LC Gamer did have a question. He said he really liked the 80s horror episodes and was wondering if we would continue with 80s horror episodes. I'm wondering if that's the X episodes.
Yeah, maybe. Are you talking about the Critmas episodes for the Skittermander ones? Because I don't see those stopping so long as there's bad movies to lampoon and have a good
Which
time.
will never not be a thing.
Yeah,
I'm still mad. I really I know I had reached out to you months ago. This was like right when I started, and I was like, I think that because I was going to make a show on Twitch until I realized that it's super boring watching the Roll20 screen if you're not playing the character.
Yeah, no, that's hard to do.
Yeah, like not everybody in my group had cameras. Like it would have been awful, and it was awful. But I wanted to do the exact same thing you did, but with Home Alone, where you were a bunch of Skittermanders in a house, and like Vesks were trying to break in.
Okay, I would have watched that.
Oh yeah, maybe that'll happen. To be Raimi and Adros trying to break in. The Skittermanders are doing their best to take them out.
Make
the
that a
amphibious
Patreon
bandits.
Yeah, a lot of people are guessing the second Christmas episode was going to be Gremlins. And it's like that's already Skittermander. That's like they're already monstrous Skittermanders in that movie, basically.
Well, so Skittermanders are more like you remember that movie Critters?
Yeah, those creepy little furry things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going next year. I legit made Hit Point Break the Point Break lampoon very last minute. So we'll see. I don't think we're bringing back McSwayze Phasey flipping Phasey, but I think we're gonna have some other crazy Skittermanders join up and we'll have. I don't know. We'll drop some more acid and figure out some plot lines to disrupt.
That's the secret to this. Just drop some.
Yeah, that's later in the season, not now. Not.
I think I was in like some kind of December flu psychosis when I came up with that. Mm-hmm. A Sharktopus did eat him. Boy.
Yeah, let's see.
That was a question from Chad. I forget where else we're.
Yeah. So I probably should have asked this a lot earlier when we were talking about like the time that the Patreon takes, but just to get a little more personal on you, how many hours? Just so everybody in the chat knows, and this is recorded. How many hours do you say that you spend a week working on the show, from planning to recording to editing?
With just that, just working on the podcast, if we're not counting like, talking on Discord, Twitter, doing Patreon stuff, just working on the podcast, I would say it's at least 10 hours. I was trying to do math before we started recording tonight, and at most, this is me almost becoming insane, 20 hours. How did I get there? We record like 3 hours or so when we do play, and sometimes we play 2 episodes in a week, like if we're trying to bank one because someone's going on vacation or what have you. So like that's six potential right there. Editing the podcast, it depends. This week's episode took me 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours to edit, the one tomorrow, and that's only like an hour long. But we recorded a crit bit. That was another recording session. Spoiler, our Crittermander Discord, Cody, is in crit bit in tomorrow's episode. I saw him in the chat earlier. I'm not sure if he's still here. But I mean, that's just like an additional recording session. So this one didn't take that long. That one was actually very fast, and you'll find out. I mean, we're just talking about the character classes in season 2.
Nice.
If it's like a gameplay episode and it's like up to 2 hours, I would say each hour probably takes like 3 hours to edit. Cutting down and streamlining things a little bit in season 2. Some of that, I can't answer it for Jabert. Jabert helped me do some of the intro editing, in particular the last time on segment in season 1, because I was taking a stupid amount of time. So that's actually gone down a little bit. But then like writing the episode, depending on like what is happening, if it's just like a combat heavy episode, that could be as low as like an hour or 2 hours. If it's like the epilogue to season 1, that probably took me like 20 hours to write by itself over the course of months. Because it was reactive to what we're doing in gameplay, and I also needed season 1 to have like a good send off and try and wrap things up where I could. So a lot of that was me going back and reading my notes for like book 1 of Dead Sons and trying to like pull plot threads back together. So that one took a long time. That probably was the longest episode edit and writing. But I would say average 10 hours a week for the podcast. To have it
plus
on record.
Your job. Yeah, plus your job.
Well, I was about to say that's why this is. We're probably not able to have a second podcast anytime soon.
Yeah.
I don't know. Drew and Jabert have done an amazing job as my backup editors, and they've done episodes of podcast, which if I don't tell you which ones they are, you probably won't be able to tell because they're that good. They especially helped Jabert, especially when he did Skittershot, because I think he edited and GM'd those episodes. So that he can tell you it's a lot of work.
Jabert pulling double duty there.
Yep. And Drew has, like I said, helped me editing episodes as well, which is a huge help.
Yeah. And talking with Drew, I know he hates editing, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it in so much as I get to, shape what people are listening to. And I try to make the podcast something that I want to listen to. And I often do listen to our own podcast, but it's a lot of hard work. Anyone can tell you that.
Well, I mean, you guys, all of you make it worth listening to. So, I mean, we stuck around this long. So.
I'm not poo-pooing the work that the players put in, because honestly, they're more performers than anything, and do their level best to make these characters really pop and
Absolutely.
It's hard when you have to talk over 5 other people sometimes. So
Mhm.
sometimes you might just not hear like a player like an entire episode, which is something that happens. But they do their best to clear out when they realize the spotlight is on someone else, and then it's quiet. They put in a as players.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure if the audio cut out on me, but I don't know if it cut out on the thing. But yeah, no, players put in a lot of work. I know when we would play, or when I would play, I would be talking to my friend about like my character for the entire week until that next episode. So,
A question in the chat from Cheetah, who's I think one of our past winners for a challenge. I forget which one. Cheetah asks if season 2 is going to be Aeon and Signal of Screen. Right now, it's just against the Aeon. But yeah, I don't have concrete plans to play Signal of Screams right now. Don't know what season 3 is.
All right.
he wants to
that
play
would-
his, guys. He wants to play his.
Well, if we did, that would be season 3. I don't think we would call it season 2. It's a different AP, and I just want to be like APs tied to the season.
Right.
And I would also, if we did that, I would give the players the option to, like it says in that AP, just bring them over from against the Iron Throne or make new characters, which I think people would want to make new characters because it's fun to do. And you get new art.
Right.
But yeah, who knows? Yeah. My AP is going to be pretty good. I can tell you that. At least book 1 of the 6 is going to be pretty awesome. I do want to play that one.
And he's modest, folks. Look at that.
No. I spent a lot of time. It's a roller coaster.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
All right.
6 months away. 6 months, right? Yes.
Yep.
Almost less than that.
So now I buy a copy, right, and then I send it to you. You'll sign it and then send it back, right?
Yeah, no, I think a few people will ask me to do that. No, but if I find you in a convention, I'll sign anything you want. I'll sign stuff I didn't write for some reason. I'll sign your hat. But no, I'll definitely when that book comes out, I'm more than willing to give copies out as prizes and whatnot for our fan challenges. So I want as many people as possible to have that book.
Right.
I really like Drew. He says that you're going to make the rest of the cast interview you at the end of your own book.
I'm pretty sure that is going to be a one-on-one special with me interviewing me. So, yeah, no, we usually have an author interview. That would be pretty awkward if I did it myself.
It's just you in a big velour chair with a bathrobe and a pipe. Just, yes, I wrote a book once.
Yes, exactly. Oh boy. Yeah, any other questions in the chat, or did you want to hit up anything else, Max?
I think I'm good. Tim, if you have anything else, I know we had a few more questions, but I don't think there's GMing questions and stuff like that, but I don't think we have enough time to really get into a GM corner session. Maybe where we record it some other time.
We can go a whole another hour or two on that.
Yeah.
Well, are you guys going to be back next week? Is this a
Yep. Yeah, we'll be weekly. So next week we'll actually have an episode that we can talk about. This week was a little different.
15 minutes?
Yeah. This week was just a little different because we didn't have a season 2 episode, but next week we will. So,
well, next week you'll have this is an intro episode, so I don't know if you'll have like the character episode out yet. But if you want to talk about GMing stuff, I'll at the very least be in the chat. We can talk about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there we go.
So yeah, every Sunday night our episode comes out, you'll be on talking about the previous weeks.
Yep.
Rolling it in, coming up with any conspiracy theories that anybody has, any just Discord chats that I thought connected or Tim thought connected, just anything.
We have to put up a cork board, with all kinds of theories up here. So
someone says they're salty about the race issue, the race reveal. I guess you guys can reveal the races next week if people want to find that out early.
Nah, they can.
I can give you all that info.
We'll just know and not tell anyone.
Oh yeah, no. Take us offline. I'll give you all the secrets of season 2.
Well, goodbye, folks. No.
No, tonight, the episode that's coming out in about 20 minutes or so, yeah, pretty quickly, is kind of like, if you do this at home game, session 0 for the campaign. So we're not playing. It is mainly an introduction to the season. We talk about rules changes, and there's a couple of like table rules. And we can announce this a little bit early, but our March fan submission challenge is going to be adding to the Paizo official Starfinder critical hit deck.
Ooh.
Now, if we can get some as epic as some of the fails are, that would be nice.
JJJ, get on it.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm very excited about this one. There's also going to be if you're a Patreon backer, I think the fancy Marmala level and up, yours will be excuse me, yours will be added into a special deck, which is very possible to get on the podcast a little frequently than the cards and everyone else's. We'll have announcements about that this week. But that's the March fan submission challenge. We are adding in the critical hit deck. I guess that's an announcement. I should probably say. And we're altering our birthday free roll reroll system. That's gone. So, and we talk about how that's altered in this episode.
Okay, cool.
Replaced with something else.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Yeah. I don't think if this podcast lasts like 8 months or so, I don't think everyone will have a birthday within that time. So it's kind of unfair.
Right.
Tyler gets no rerolls. But
they never use the
re
rerolls anyways.
Yeah, no. Well, the hopefully the way we use this is now you'll get to see some more clutch. I think of those as representing like the last little bit of good luck that you might have. Mm-hmm. And they'll be pretty infrequent still.
Okay.
So.
Cool.
Definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, we've got 10 minutes until the next episode. I think now's a good time to call it. We'll be taking questions all the way until next week anyways, if anybody has any questions. But give you guys time to go use the restroom, get a drink, and start up the next episode. Season 2, Cosmic Crit.
Bye, everybody.
Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
And it stops.
All right. I was just like awkwardly like. So